Shalom family. Let me adjust the camera. Can you see my face? Shalom family and guests. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Black and Healthy Restoring Black America channel here on YouTube, and also broadcasting live on the Country Living in the City page on Facebook. I am your host, Jawanda Smith, RN Case Manager and Patient Advocate. And today is part 2 in the Docuseries, The Status of the Black Farmer Here in America. Last video, we talked about how post-slavery, many free blacks migrated to what is called the heartland of America and did the arduous task of clearing the land to create the agricultural powerhouse of the country's Midwest territory. Unfortunately, in the face of discrimination, racism, Jim Crow laws, utter destructions of towns, and so on and so forth, and theft of land, many black farmers lost their ability to farm independently or lost their land completely. So today we will take a look into property laws and how many black farmers lost their land through lack of knowledge of the property laws, and they were unable to pass on generational wealth to their families. So I'm going to show you a little presentation I put together, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to share my screen right now and play this for you guys. If I can stop struggle streaming for 5 seconds. Alrighty, here we go. Okay. There we go.
And Oklahoma is a unique space in terms of the number of African American towns that were established. Some suggest upwards of 50 African American towns between 1924 and 1928. Reverend S.S. Jones was going around documenting this sort of self-determined, vibrant African American communities. You see the African American educators, doctors, lawyers, landowners, oil barons, and I think that's what's so remarkable about this footage, to think that individuals, how many years out of slavery, are now owning oil wells that are producing 2,000 barrels a day. Is that not the ultimate American dream? Is that not the ultimate American story? It flies in the face of what I think some people consider part of African American history and culture. And I think that that was one of the things that Oklahoma and what S.S. Jones is really kind of showing, is that African American history and culture is not a monolith. And in a way, it became kind of like a marketing tool to encourage individuals to migrate, to move there, that this is
USDA logo, United States Department of Agriculture.
What is heirs property? Heirs property is property passed to family members by inheritance, usually without a will or estate planning strategy. The title remains in the original owner's name and is considered cloudy, negatively impacting the heirs. Land may pass through several generations without a will, increasing the number of heirs and causing complex legal issues. This video is an excerpt from the online event Land Matters, Understanding Heirs Property, featuring Mavis Gregg, a practicing attorney and renowned heirs property expert, discussing the significant loss of land by African American farmers.
One thing to remember is, or to note, is that African Americans and most Americans, quite frankly, were not allowed to own real estate until after slavery ended. So that's including women, it's including people of color, and of course including African Americans, enslaved African Americans. But very soon after slavery ended, the African American community accumulated a lot of land ownership. And in the southeastern United States, where slavery was most dominant. And so between the end of slavery and approximately 1920, the African American community accumulated nearly 20 million acres of land, and within that 100 years, so within the 100 years since then, have lost most of that land. The data varies. It is difficult to have very accurate data about African American land ownership, but the numbers of current ownership range between 7 and 9 million acres of land, and even less, a significantly less proportion of agricultural land, meaning that African Americans acquired a lot of agricultural land after slavery ended and owned significantly less agriculture.
With emerging technology and knowledge of property law, a younger generation of Black farmers are emerging in urban communities across America in areas scarce of food and good nutrition. Let's take a look.
You really had a whole generation that moved away from the land. But now, there's a retelling of that story.
To consider myself a Black farmer, I first have to forgive how farming was introduced to us. It was taught from generation to generation never to plant again. But you have to look beyond that.
It's an honor to be a Black farmer. It's a tribute back to your ancestors. It's a labor of love.
I was really purposeful in choosing this side of town. This is where I live, and also this is where we have the highest concentration of food deserts in the city of Atlanta.
It's not about necessarily we're going to grow all the food that the country needs, but it's like having people have that connection so they can have a better understanding and then they can value food more. My outlook on urban farming is that we meet people where they're at. We're boots on the ground. And I think that's important, that I know who my customer is, what my customer needs, and how I can grow for that customer. The Gilliam's Mobile Farmers Market came about when my mom had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I seen the way her eating habits were. So I did a study to find if other seniors were going through the same ordeal that my mother was. They were lacking in nutrition, lacking in vitamin D, potassium, zinc, all of these things that you can really get from food.
Today we have squash, cucumbers, we have a bok choy. What's your favorite vegetable? Collards. Oh, enjoy your visit today.
I'm really trying to change the way and how people are shopping.
people are used to big box stores, and now shopping at markets, it becomes more of a weekly habit. CSAs are a really good way for the public to support farmers. It gives us this guaranteed market, this cash infusion at the beginning, and then customers get a chance to see how the food is grown. They get to ask questions, they get to engage.
This is like the next best thing to having my own garden. And we think about the fresh food. Delicious. I wanted to have a protein, to bring to the farmer's market. So I'm like, eggs. So we had chickens, and then one day he brought home hogs. And then another day he brought home goats.
I would like to raise rabbits and fish and raise a donkey and maybe a couple alpacas.
Alpacas. Ooh, alpacas.
Hey, Pete. I see magic being created every day. I'm here from sun up to sundown. I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful thing to be a farmer.
Oh yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah, my CSA was good today. So this is how I get the love and the flavor in my food. It's really good. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel proud. It's an honor to feed somebody when they're down out in luck or they can't find fresh food. So that's a good.
The farming. The mint. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I married a farmer and I ate bugs, but he changed how I look at food. I believe that he saved my life.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that presentation regarding the emergence of urban farming and gardening. I myself am an urban gardener, and I have a gardening channel here on YouTube, Country Living in the City. I teach container gardening. I do a lot of container gardening. Eventually, I will dig up my whole backyard, but I haven't gotten that far yet. But I do currently have about 5 garden beds, and I just built 2 more. So, and the young lady in the video, she was talking about the CSA farms, and I will post information from the USDA on the CSA initiative. Basically, just to give you an overview, it's a initiative for communities to start a community farm. If you have enough people signed up that are willing to work the farm and willing to work, do the distribution of the food, then the government would actually give you grant money to start the farm, and everyone signs a contract that's part of the group to work the farm, and that's what you've seen in the video. It's a way to, they're trying to reduce the carbon imprint in this country. Also, they're trying to give more initiatives for people to grow. There is a nationwide food scarcity going on. We weren't quite aware of it until COVID hit, but now you know. So this is a great program that the USDA is doing. I am going to check into it myself because there are a lot of avid gardeners in my neighborhood. My next door neighbor is one, myself. There's a couple people down the street I know that does vegetable gardening. And then there's a few people in this neighborhood that do extremely beautiful jobs in landscaping. So I think I'll go around the community and see if anyone would be interested in starting a community garden here where we live. And like I said, I will post all that information from this video, all the resources from this video in the description section if you are interested in starting an agricultural program in your community. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Part 3 of this series, it will be on broadcasting on the 20th and the 21st of this month. I'm going down to Blackstone, Virginia, where my family's land is, and we will go to Burkeville, Virginia, as well as Crewe, because most of my family is in that area, and I will take you on the journey of the Christopher family and how we fought to keep our land. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Shalom.